I'm joined by my color commentator, one of the infamous Twin Dragons, Martin McNamara. Martin, that was some fight that just ended between Thomas Chodjanowski and Steve Shively.
Well, the crowd's concerned, you know, for safety, of course, but everybody enjoys a good knockout. I mean, people don't come out of their seat any faster.
That's for sure.
Introducing first in the blue corner. He's from Winnipeg, Manitoba. A professional fight record of 20-3, 17 victories by KO. He weighed in at 165 pounds. They call him the House of Pain, Marc Bourgeois.
Marc Bourgeois of Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're here at the docks with our main event.
His opponent in the red corner weighed in at 164 pounds. A professional fight record of 9-2-1, 4 victories by KO. He is from Toronto, Ontario, Rico Tatangelo.
Great round of applause for Rico Tatangelo, the current FFKA middleweight champion of the world in this non-title tilt with Marc Bourgeois of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Now, Martin, this fight is for a vacant Canadian title, isn't it?
North American title, yes. He's from out west. He'll be like the rest of the fighters. He'll be tough. He'll be conditioned. When he gets hit a few times, he'll step back, take a breather, no rush.
Now, most of these fighters from out west are trained in the Muay Thai style of kickboxing.
Yeah, they're at a little disadvantage today because these guys have to put on the brakes with techniques that they normally use all the time. But they're going to have to today. They know today they have to put it up above the waist, and hats off to them because it's hard to change your technique and your style of fighting, and they're doing remarkably well.
Now, one thing that's always impressed me about Rico Tatangelo is his ability to fight in so many different styles. I mean, he was known as a consummate kickboxer, and then he goes out and knocks out a fighter like Ernie Kitterman with such amazing force. I mean, he's so technically proficient. What do you look?
Well, what it is, Eddie, his forte is his movement. He can be in midair and change direction on you.
Well, I was watching one of his sparring sessions at the Twin Dragons last week, and I've really seen him starting to sit down on his punches a little more. Like he's starting to gain confidence and getting more power in his punches and kicks.
He is, but what happens if you go after him, you start missing, and you're looking so much hard to hit him, he hits you.
Oh, nice.
Now look, see how poised this guy is? These guys from out west, they don't get excited. They've been in wars in Muay Thai. They're murdering each other. So this is not considered a war for them. So the pressure's not there. Now this guy came out, Marc Bourgeois came out there, and he already started parrying kicks. Now they either hold their guard real high or they hold it low. There doesn't seem to be a medium. Now Marc, so far, Marc's been looking into the sun for most of this round. Now his corner people, Eddie will be telling him from the previous fights already, they can't wait too long because it seems to be the red corner racks up the points.
Mm-hmm. Now, Rico Tatangelo himself is, again, he lives a very balanced life. He's an honor student, an honor graduate of York University, and getting a degree in political science.
They're not going to try to keep him out of the cover of GQ. He wants to keep us good looks. That's why he moves well. It's a nice little 1-2 punch sneaking in. That guard's a little, that's what I said earlier, Eddie. The guard goes up really high or it stays low. Doesn't seem to be a middle ground. And Rico's he's touching gloves a lot. He's holding his hands up most of the time. A little jump up heel kick out under the arm. It scores for the judges, but didn't hurt him. He didn't even flinch.
Come on. All right, come on.
The end of round one. It was a good feeling out round, but it seems that Rico Tatangelo is really starting to go in with that, we're starting to rack up the points on him, isn't he?
Well, he's doing that early. You know, you always try to tell your fighter, don't rush out, don't go out there. You know you go the distance, so why go out there full head of steam, especially when you're not warmed up yet.
We're here at the docks, one of the premier entertainment complexes in North America. Now, this fight is being brought to you by the good people at Park Avenue 2000.
Once again, the guys in the blue corner from out west, they don't use a stool. It's put away. It's under the ring.
This is
Now Rico's got to keep that guard high because these guys,
Rico, keep your guard in.
they can put them into your ribs and the next second it's back up over your shoulder. If your guard's not high, you'll take a shin bone in the head,
Come on.
which the best fighter sometimes can't take because it's the shin bone hitting you. Now it's true the ball of the feet from the front kicks keeps you from getting punched as much. So there's an up and down side to everything.
Rock 'em.
You can tell the power of this man, though, by his kicks, though.
Oh,
When
yeah.
he's landing on Rico's arms, but you can hear the power, the force behind him.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
I've seen a lot of guys in the red corner get knocked back 4 or 5 feet from those.
Rock 'em, Rico. Woo! Get up.
And he's sneaking the ball of the foot in. And that's what he tried to do with Kitterman. Nice mark, he's starting to parry kicks. There's a good, this nice left, right.
Rico!
The rest all landed on Mark's guard. Oh, he's well poised like the rest of the fighters. There's a hard shin, got under Rico's elbow.
Come on, Rico.
Now, if we were up there and that sun was shining in our face, we'd be fighting for the dark side of the ring. They're sneaking in there. I think Rico's trying to finish every kick with a punch. And when you do that, it keeps a fighter from countering you. If you kick and you don't throw a punch behind it, your opponent will punch you back.
Rico, a very polished, accomplished fighter, isn't he?
Oh yeah, they're both turning on a dime here. Nobody's staying on the one side for long.
Come on, Rico. Got the rope. Use the rope.
Rico definitely trying to stay on the outside of this guy, isn't he?
Oh yeah, and I notice his back is to the sun a lot too, which is a smart move.
Well, the crowd, they're definitely showing their appreciation for this fight. It's got a really quick pace to it. Do you think they're going to be able to maintain this pace over the duration of the fight?
I think they will. I mean, they're going in short spurts, and it still looked like they were feeling each other a bit. Mm-hmm. Like the earlier previous fights, the guys from out west, they have to know they have to rack up some points.
This fight is also being co-sponsored by the good people at Royal Beef Limited.
I think if Royal Beef had been here with their wagons, they could have supplied this place
Oh
with
yeah.
so much food.
Geez, and I thought I was getting a free meal after this, Mark.
Royal Beef will look after you.
Well, I definitely hope they got a side of a calf there for me.
This is round number 3. Of course, fighters don't want to wait till the end of the round to get their number of kicks in, the required kicks. Because it always seems if you wait till the end of the round to get your kicks in, you don't make them.
Come on, right
Rico
there.
landing a nice front kick.
So fighters try to get their kicks off early, a number of kicks off early, and then there's not too much pressure to kick. There's a little toe in the face. It might seem harmless, but Ernie Kitterman, his career was ended with a toe in the eye.
A lot of people that watched that fight will never forget that. That was an incredible knockout by Rico Tatangelo on Ernie Kitterman.
There's two front kicks, Eddie, right on the belly button.
Yep.
Come on, Rico.
And then he tries to land a punch so Bourgeois doesn't count him. There's another one under the elbow.
Another one under the elbow, and he
And he
came up
finishes
with
with
a
the
right
punches,
hand.
yeah.
With a nice right hand.
Another one. Now
You
they
see the
smart
redness coming up in...
in the stomach of Bourgeois, sorry. Now, when Mark came out on that first round, he parried the first 4 or 5 kicks. Now he stopped parrying Tatangelo's kicks. Like I said, it's hard to adjust. And these guys from out west have had to change their style. Like I said, there's a little bit of disadvantage to them. But they'll go anywhere in the world and fight any style you want.
Come on, Rico.
They're definitely game fighters.
Come on, get him, Rico.
Oh, Rico landing a nice right cross.
Now Rico Tatangelo's speed is it's deceptive. It looks like it's floating, then it stings on the end.
It's very slippery, very slippery.
Now there's that guard a little bit low. Rico's been told that they're hard chin kickers. Keep your guard up, your elbows in. A little belly kick there from Tatangelo. And they acknowledge each other. Now the sun might be shining hard, Eddie, but it's there's a nice breeze, and it's actually good. It's perfect temperature.
Oh, the crowd really seems to be enjoying the whole afternoon out.
It's working out nicely. Now I'm squinting a little bit out of the right side of my face here, so I know these fighters got to be jockeying for the dark side of the ring. You want that sun at your back.
We're here at the docks for World Championship Kickboxing.
Nice 1-2.
Nice.
He's scoring ahead on the points. Of course, the crowd wants to see a knockout. The crowd's cheering him on now to hurt him.
You can just see the confidence in Tatangelo's face now.
And these guys from out west, they all show that same game face. They're all relaxed. They don't show any panic. And I'm sure if they hurt their opponent, they'll turn on the jets. I know it. Another big one by Mark. He kicks like a mule. And they're hard kickers, and they still maintain keeping their guard up. It's a North American title. You know. Now you hear people saying he's hurting, this guy's hurting, he's hurting, but neither fighter's not hurting at this point. But Rico is scoring more. The front kicks are landing. Mark's forte is definitely the big roundhouse. And if Tangelo's guard falls asleep, he'll know it. And I'm surprised that Rico, he's into the sun now. I know the red corner will be telling him to keep your back to the sun. And that's where he is now. There's a nice little jab straight in, and Mark acknowledges it. This is what the crowd wants. Rico doesn't want to stand toe-to-toe with this guy. There's a good exchange.
The crowd definitely enjoying this fight, aren't they, Mark?
Beautiful. There's the chanting starting now.
Well, Rico's the hometown boy. Very, very accomplished fighter. Very popular fighter here in the city of Toronto.
I'm sure they'd like to see another knockout. And same scenario as before. When it comes down to the later rounds, you can sure the blue corner's going to have to come out storming. Mark's holding his guard a little higher. Wants to do that big change up. And Mark's turning his back to the sun.
Rico, you've done a lot of work with Rico Tatangelo. What would you be telling Rico to do at this point in the fight?
Well, he always has to move on 45s, left and right, get your licks in him, and exit left and right, go to the corners. See, like he just did. Yeah. Because anytime you hit a fighter 1, 2, 3, and if he's tough, or if he takes it on his guard, he's going to come straight back at you. And that's when you have to go to the corners. It's almost like a bullfighter. Let it go by you. Those front kicks are getting in. They're finding the mark. Oh, yes. But he's hoping he can get that guard down so he can sneak a couple of punches after those front kicks. There's a parry by Mark. And Mark almost landed that big roundhouse. Mark's well poised. A big straight right. Rico's still firing in. There's 2 in a row into the midsection. 3 in a row. And Mark with the back roundhouse lands on the guard. That lands on the guard. And he tries a front kick. Oh, it was a big right by Mark. Oh, a nice one in the midsection by Mark.
This fight's picked up a pace, hasn't it, in this round?
Oh, yes. There's a slip, but it's in the midsection. Not only that, you know, you get a lot of Vaseline sometimes on the fighters and it ends up in the bottom of your feet. And as the round wears, as the evening wears on, the ring gets slippery, gets wet. Vaseline, ice.
Nice left jab.
And what Tatangelo's trying to do is he's trying to get all those front kicks in and then try to catch his opponent looking down at the front kick. And that's maybe why he's sneaking in the jab after it.
What do you think Bourgeois has to start doing? Does he have to pick up the pace a little more?
He has to. He's behind in points. I hate saying that because, like, I'm not a judge or anything else, but I'm just putting it together that he is behind. And that was the problem with the earlier fight.
We have yet to see any of these fighters get outclassed.
No.
By much.
And he's got to come at Rico. See, he's looking down at the kick, and Rico's sneaking a couple of punches in.
We saw that in the last fight when Steve Shively started looking down at Trojanov's.
He ate a right hand.
Yeah.
Nice little change up by Tatangelo. There's Mark starting to parry those front kicks. Because sometimes you can't close the arms. There's another one in the same spot, third one in the same spot. And the other time they bounce off the glove, they bounce off your belly. There's another one.
Beautiful,
front kick beat the roundhouse.
Kick, yeah.
I mean, Mark's not hurt by any means, but it's it's keeping him from being busy.
Well, it has to have a cumulative effect
yeah.
Come on, get on him!
as the fight wears on.
Come on, Rico!
You know, it's hard to punch somebody back when you're taking the ball to the foot in your midsection.
A lot of redness on
There's
the belly.
Mark Chase. There's what Mark has to do. Mark has to go after him. And these fighters listen well to the referee, too. He hasn't get in there much to break him up.
Get him! Bang him! Bang him in the stomach, in the face!
He's just getting a warning there. And again, that's hard for that gentleman not to throw low kicks. He's thrown 1 million in his career.
Off the stomach, in the face!
There's another one.
You see it coming a mile away, Rico!
And Mark's starting to go forward. He's learned from the previous fights. Yeah, he's learned from the previous fights that he has to go forward. He has to make something happen.
The other fighters that fought on the card, they seem to just hang back.
They held back, yeah.
He's watching your feet, Rico. Hit him with your hands.
Like I said, they're all well poised. They're great athletes. They respect the referee and everybody else.
Get him! Get him!
And I think our commissioner was pleased with all of them, too. That was a good round. Mark did some work there. He went at him.
Yeah, he did. The crowd showing their appreciation. That was a good, exciting round.
And he's breathing a little heavier that round. He spent more energy.
Yeah, he was a little busier.
And the crowd, like any sport, they like to see technical
Oh, yeah.
things. But in the end, they want to see somebody hurt. They want to see somebody get knocked out. Like if all the fights are technical, then there's a big bang at the end. That's the best.
We're here at the Docks, the entertainment complex on Paulson Street, bringing you an afternoon of World Championship Kickboxing. I'm Ed Zawatsky, your host for this afternoon's card, along with my partner in crime, Martin McNamara. Now we're right in the middle of.
Okay, Mark, I expect him to go at him. Rico's got to keep his head back.
Come on, Rico! Send him home!
A straight right from Tatangelo. Mark didn't flinch. There's a nice heel kick, just missing.
Come on, Rico!
Mark wants to do some damage.
Yeah, he wants to.
He wants to mix it up.
Yeah, he wants to mix it up a little bit with Tatangelo.
Rico's not going to stay there. He's going to keep going left and right.
You can't hit a target that's not going to be there, can you?
That's right.
Oh, nice kick. Nice kick by Tatangelo.
Woo! Come on, Rico!
And both fighters, they still got a lot left.
Bang him!
They still have to be cautious. Mark's backing himself up into a corner. And it's possible he could be sucking Rico in to come at him.
His hands are down. Woo! Right, come on.
I don't know if that landed, Eddie, or not. And he comes back, Mark, with a big roundhouse, and he lands a front kick. And a front kick by Rico. This is what the crowd wants to see.
Yeah, both fighters really picking up the pace in this round.
You know it's picked up when you can't hear us. That was a nice burst of energy by both fighters. There's a big, big right by Mark. Faking a kick and coming down. Look how well the fighters listen to the referee there. Mark had hung up on the ropes, and both of them heard the ref and backed off. There's a little one. That slipped under the guard.
I saw that.
Straight left and right by the Tatangelo.
Slipped right under the elbow.
He's getting tired. Get up.
Look at the redness on Bourgeois' stomach and chest area.
Oh, there's
From
another
all
one.
the kicks
The
that
1-2.
Tatangelo's landed there.
Going down.
Another one. Oh, he's feeling
Oh,
that.
he's hurt. But
Rico-
Bourgeois comes right back.
There's the referee in there quick. He's going to continue. Excellent round. Oh, wait a minute. They're not hearing the bell. You're all
not hearing the
confused
bell.
there.
The
We're all
crowd being very
confused.
vocal, drowning out the sound of the bell for the fighters. Very exciting round of kickboxing.
Oh, it's that
Mark.
kind of energy everybody likes.
Bourgeois really came out in this round to prove something, didn't he?
And he took a barrage and come right back. And that bell went there. I didn't know. Everybody was confused. Thank God there's no airplanes flying over.
We're here at the docks in an afternoon of professional kickboxing. I'm Ed Zawadzki, your co-host, joined by one of the infamous Twin Dragons, Martin McNamara.
Well, Eddie, we got one more round, and Mark's going to come out.
He's going to have to. I think he's going to have to knock Rico out,
He's tired.
won't he, to win this fight.
No, he
I think
knows
he's
that.
just too far behind.
Dragons.
And you know, these fighters, too, win or lose, these guys from out west, they want to put on a good show because they know the sport. They want to move up in the sport, and they want to please the
That's
crowd.
all he's got.
They're definitely not spoiled. I don't think there's any kickboxers spoiled. Nice 1-2, big overhand right.
Reverse heel to the gut.
Okay, this is the last round. Mark's got to press. He has to press. The crowd's waiting for another burst of energy from both fighters.
Power left in him, Rico.
Rico's putting him back on him up into the ropes.
Batteries are
I know he wants to get 3 or 4 and out.
Go, get
There's
up.
Mark, big left on the guard.
Bang him.
Rico
Bang
throwing
him.
up front
2,
kick.
there's that big right foot again.
What he's doing.
Mark's a pro. I think Rico wants him out of the corner.
He's watching your feet. He's watching your feet.
Another front kick getting through the guard.
Watch his knee.
But Mark's pulling his guard in tight when that front kick lands low. He knows Tatangelo's coming in punching.
Flick. What was that?
This is the last round. I expect Mark to come at him.
Tatangelo's a very focused fighter. He really sticks to his game plan, doesn't he?
He's moving left and right.
He knows what he has to do to win, and he's doing it.
This is your
And of
day.
course, we never know until those judges tally up the points. And the crowd's expecting a strong finish. They're both watching each other now.
When it comes down to judging, nothing's ever a sure thing, is it, Mark?
No.
We've seen some decisions in our day.
They've been pretty fair today.
Come on, bang him on the face. Bang him.
Crowd wants this round to end strong. There's Mark's trying to get warned with another low kick. Like I said, it's tough. It's tough for the fighters from out west to keep those kicks high. They fight so many times low. It's really tough for them. And sometimes that's not intentional. It just comes out reflex. There's a nice side kick.
Show him the twin dragon.
There it is. There it is.
That's the end of the 8th round.
And the corner, the blue corner, still standing up. Like I said, they've thrown that stool away. They've burnt it. They don't need it. That's their style. I don't know if it makes a difference. Sometimes a lot of fighters, they in kickboxing, boxing, Thai fighting, they come down, they come into that corner, and their arms are holding them up.
Oh, yeah. And Mark Bourgeois of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Right into his ribs. That's it.
Look at Mark coming back. It's the last round.
This is it. It's now or never for him.
Wait, what was that? What was that?
A nice front kick again.
Yeah.
Rico wants to finish it too. Oh, some nice shots there.
Both fighters
Beautiful.
going at each other.
Oh, nice. That back leg ended up on Rico's guard. Crowd's chanting him on now. They like to see this barrage.
Rico! Rico!
It turns on the crowd. He's a gutsy fighter. Mark's not finished.
Bang him! Turn around!
I'll be surprised if he goes down.
Right in the jaw!
He's just trying to get by those front kicks.
Put him in the face!
As Mark's trying to load up with the back leg.
Rico!
Tatangelo's trying to parry.
Come on!
Took that on the guard. Mark took that on the arm. No harm done. There's a big bang
Tatangelo
up.
landing 3 nice punches in succession.
See, that's the thing. Rico doesn't stay in one spot for long. There's that front kick.
Front kick, throwing that landing.
He's really taking those front kicks well. Left and right. Another one.
Tatangelo's landing everything he's throwing. He's got Bourgeois in trouble.
Yeah.
Bourgeois has turned his back on him.
Oh, it's a good thing the referee got in there. The fighter turned his back. The fighter turned his back. And the referee was sharp getting in there. He was hurt. He gave him a standing 8 count. He actually threw the fighter out of the way. And you don't blame Tatangelo. When any fighter turns his back, you have to go for him. Mark coming back. Rico's got to be careful he doesn't get caught in a punch war. Oh, he's a bit dazed. Rico wants to end it. I'm hearing bells, Eddie. I don't know. The crowd's loud. I thought I heard a bell.
Yeah, there it is.
Almost put him away. Another good fight.
Terrific
Boys
fight.
from out west should be congratulated.
Terrific tactical fight by Rico Tatangelo. The crowd is on its feet.
That's the first time I've seen the blue corner lose their cool a bit. They're a little mad at the referee, but sometimes kicks can glance off.
You win.
And most of the time, Jocelyn pulls off a good job. He's strong and aggressive. It was a good thing he jumped in there fast on Tatangelo because that fighter was dazed and his back was turned.
Go organize.
Ja, kind of have to see that we organize
Well, we're just awaiting the decision here at the docks, where we've just seen Rico Tatangelo fighting Mark Bourgeois of Winnipeg, Manitoba for the vacant Canadian middleweight championship.
That last round was close. Somebody was almost gone.
It was a terrific fight all around. I mean, I was very impressed with the toughness of Bourgeois, but I think it'll be no surprise to our viewing audience and the people here that Tatangelo really dominated the fight with his front kicks and his punching. The fight between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto and Mark Bourgeois of Winnipeg.
In the red corner, Rico!
The winner, no surprise to us, Rico Tatangelo. You must be really proud of Rico in this fight, huh? We're coming to you live from the docks. This is Ed Zawadzki with my partner in crime, Martin McNamara, with an interview with the now Canadian and world FFK middleweight champion Rico Tatangelo. Here in the ring with current FFKA middleweight champion of the world and now newly crowned Canadian champion Rico Tatangelo. Rico, you must be really pleased with your performance tonight.
Well, yeah, you know, I knew he was a Thai fighter. I never fought a Thai fighter before. Tough guy. Canadians are tough, so I try to stick to my game plan, go low, make him look at my feet, and then go to the top, and I think it worked.
Did you have to plan a different kind of strategy fighting a fighter like this?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm used to guys that move around more instead of letting me do all the movement. I could tell in the first few rounds he tried to make me get tired, so I knew that I had to keep moving. Because I wasn't going to stand there and trade with him.
Well, what's next in store for you? Will there be a world title defense before the end of the year?
It looks so. We just got to see. Got to get the time put aside, get ready for 12 rounds. I did 9 today, and I felt it. So if I go for 12, I'm really going to have to take the time and train hard. And yeah, I think we'll see that by the end of the year. Definitely.
Well, we're here with the winner of that FFKA middleweight championship fight, Rico Tatangelo. I'm joined here by my color commentator, Martin McNamara, one of the infamous Twin Dragons. Martin, you must be really pleased with the way the fights turned out today.
Well, it was a bag of nerves as usual before the fight, and of course you try to do your best for my brother and I to matchmake people, and it worked out perfect. These fighters from out west were fantastic. We expected a war from Tomaz and of course Steve Shively, and it ended up with a big bang with Trojanowski knocking him out again. And I know when people see that on TV, he's going to be making new fans. They're going to be coming down expecting another knockout, and that's what sells the sport.
Well, you must also be very pleased with the way Chantel won her fight. She's now the Canadian champion, and she's really moving up in the world rankings. Do you see another world title shot for Chantel Naden?
Well, there's no rush. I mean, we're going into the winter season now. We might have to regroup and try to come up with a big show in the spring. And I'd like to see her get another 4 or 5 fights before she gets a shot at a title.
Now, are you planning to take any of these fighters out on the road before the next fight here?
Well, see, right now, the FFK, the ISK, the PKC, all these sanctioning bodies in kickboxing, they know we're responsible for all the big shows in North America, and they're going to be inviting us now.
Well, Martin, all in all, you and your twin brother Michael must be very pleased with the way the mainstream audience has embraced the sport of kickboxing. It's definitely on the rise. What do you foresee next year here in Toronto in the sport?
Well, I want to see bigger venues. And of course now in the winter, in the 98 season, we want to move into a big venue, a place that, it's got a roof, it's got walls, keep the cold out and keep the noise and the atmosphere in.
Well, I guess you must agree with me in saying that I guess when you look at everything and you look at the success of all the fighters, that the actual ultimate winner today was the sport of kickboxing.
If you have a large crowd, a small crowd, I mean, that doesn't compare to how the fights end up. And so far, we've been blessed, we've been lucky too, and we're professionals. The matchmaking has been good, and they all turned out excellent.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us for the 6th edition of World Championship Kickboxing, coming to you today from the docks.